up? It's Cinema Shogun here, and everyone gather around. It is time for story time with Cinema Shogun again. Everyone make sure you've eaten a hearty breakfast. Maybe pop you some Pop-Tarts, get you some Starbucks. I got my Starbucks right here. Another beautiful day exposing adventures with purpose. Now this story, much like a lot of the other stories I've been telling recently, it starts a couple of months ago during the Kylie Rodney case. You see, during the Kylie Rodney case, no one could fix their lips to say anything negative about AWP, or you would be attacked by a mob of Karens that were addicted to watching scuba divers find cars underwater. Anyone who even questioned their business tactics, the way they made their videos, the way they were going about the Kylie Rodney case, anyone that questioned it were hunted down and attacked. Even ex-members of AWP who left AWP well before this Jared scandal, they were speaking out for over a year now, talking about why they left AWP, because of the shady stuff that AWP was doing in their videos. But you know what? Instead of those people being shown some form of respect, those ex-members of AWP were attacked. They were harassed. But not just that, their families were tracked down and harassed. They were sent emails full of harassment, social media posts full of harassment, having their YouTube channels constantly reported by AWP fans who could not fathom that Jared and Doug and the other fellas may not have been the best of people out there. Maybe they were doing some shady things. People weren't ready for that conversation. Now, most people shied away from that conversation, regardless of how they felt about AWP or not. People already knew. It was like an unspoken rule. You don't talk about AWP. It's kind of like Fight Club. The number one rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. The number one rule of the true crime community is you don't talk about AWP, because if you do, people are going to get upset. Well, you see, a few people had the courage to speak out about AWP. I was one of them. And I didn't go hard in the paint against AWP. I simply pointed out that there were some things that happened that I did not appreciate. And I got relentlessly attacked for weeks on end. I also want to shout out the Glarer. The Glarer here on YouTube, I think he was one of the main ones calling out AWP. And he did not back down. In fact, he went further than I did. But you see, any and everyone that was calling out AWP, we were getting hated on, like on a whole nother level. Anything that I have done in my life, anything that I have done on my channel, it was all diminished as if it was nothing, because I had never scuba dived and found a car underwater. It was as if my opinions weren't valid because I wasn't a scuba diving homicide detective. But you know what? It was a eye-opening moment for me, because it further hammered home the fact that people can and will go along with anything as long as there's a person out there that has enough subscribers or views to blind them to the reality of what is happening in front of their face. So my main issue back then with AWP was this stuff about this tow truck driver. And I called it out that I did not feel like this tow truck driver that they talked to about Kylie Rodney, I felt like it was overproduced, it was fake. There was something that was throwing me off, and people hated me for calling it out. Hundreds of people were unsubbing every single moment. Any video that I put out, that even so much as questioned AWP, I would lose hundreds of subs just like that. But for you to fully understand what I was saying back then, we have to hop in the time machine. And we have to go back to a period in time when I had a longer beard than I do now. So let's go ahead and let's take a blast back to the past with our Starbucks. This whole entire situation, it's icky and weird to me. For one, AWP, they just did a live stream on the same panel as the guy who literally says that they are a scam, that they found a fake non-existing body, and that Kylie Rodney doesn't exist. And listen, I know some people will be upset by this statement, but as soon as you align yourself with someone like that, as soon as you associate with someone like that, you lose a lot of credibility in my eyes. So I think Adventures with Purpose did an amazing job at finding Kylie. I think they do an amazing job at what they do, diving underwater and finding these cars and these people. You know, I can't thank them enough for that. But there has been some drama surrounding them and how they've handled this situation afterwards. I'm not here to say they handled the situation right or wrong. I don't know all the specifics. I'm damn sure not going to sit down and watch hours upon hours upon hours of people live streaming who are dishonest and who are liars, who platform people who say Kylie doesn't exist just to get tidbits of information from AWP. But in my mind, they lost a lot of credibility over the past couple of days, appearing on these live streams and not calling certain stuff out. Now, this interview with this guy who supposedly came up to Adventures with Purpose wanting to give them this information, it comes across as heavily overproduced. Listen, I know this is true crime. There are people out there that are way better at true crime than I am. But I made my channel to talk about movies and reality shows and things like that. And I kind of started covering true crime cases, you know, as well. As someone who is very knowledgeable about the movie industry, the entertainment industry, producing reality television and stuff like that, this interview was totally overproduced, and it comes across as disingenuous in a way because, I mean, I know for the average person, they might not realize it, but the narrative was that this guy just saw Adventures with Purpose passing by on the road and was like, hey, please stop. Please stop. I got to tell you this totally random story about how I think I saw Kylie, but I don't know the exact day. Please talk to me. This isn't just, a random encounter happened and we started rolling the cameras. No. If you go back to that clip, you can tell that there's like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different camera angles. Okay? So they got cameras set up everywhere. They got everyone mic'd up. They got the big lights shining down. They turned it into a whole television production. And I get it. You want to make quality content, but it comes across as less genuine that way. So that whole conversation that was had on camera, it wasn't as real and genuine as you may think, especially if you know how things work behind the scenes. You know, some random person didn't just come up to AWP and start talking to them and they recorded it. No, they set up a whole movie studio outside to record this interview. And the guy, I don't want to say he's being dishonest. I do find it weird that he described Jagger to a T. Like, basically just flat out described him. And I don't know if that's because the guy was Jagger, or maybe this guy wants some clout and wants to, you know, have a cool piece in this story. It seems like a lot of people want to attach themselves to Kylie's story for their own clout and their own personal gains and what have you. So we've seen a lot of people doing that. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past this guy, although I don't get the sense that he's necessarily lying here. But I do get the sense that AWP maybe, how could I put this? I don't know the exact way to put it, but I feel like AWP filmed this in a way to make it seem more substantial, if that makes sense. To make it seem more groundbreaking, to make it seem like, oh, this is a bigger deal than maybe what it would have been. Because, I mean, when the guy can't get down the exact dates and times that he talked to Kylie, I do find that weird. I mean, that should be on some type of call log, or it should be documented somewhere. Of course, I'm sure investigators know about that information and we don't. But I'm just saying that this guy's interview, it's coming across, it's giving me weird vibes. If you ask me, it looks like some people are turning Kylie Rodni into like a reality show. Like, this is a pay-per-view event. Kylie Rodni is not a pay-per-view event. And that's what it's been turned into, like just this spectacle. And I understand people have to run their channels and do things, and I don't look down upon that. I don't look down upon people making members-only content and stuff like that. But this whole situation is really giving me a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm back. This is like Back to the Future or something. This video is wild, right? But anyways, as you can see, past Cinema Shogun was already saying that AWP was giving me this icky feeling, that I had this weird feeling about them. And I was calling it out how these videos, something about it did not seem genuine. They seemed fake. And listen, I understand having high quality equipment. I understand that. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how good your cameras are, how good your mics are. There's a realness to reality, if you will. And I could tell that their videos, it was not necessarily reality. It felt like there were storylines almost, or like scenes added in for dramatic effect, like filler. Not to mention, if you go back and watch the videos, for the love of God, Doug is a horrible actor. And he is acting in all of those videos. I understand what it sounds like to genuinely talk to someone, and what it sounds like when you're acting. And he is like a straight to CW TV show level actor, not even that good. Something like a Lifetime Christmas movie. He is a horrible actor. And there was acting and fake scenes added in all of their videos. But you know, people got really upset about that. People got really mad at me and dragged me for months on end about it. But, you know, I think it's funny. And I just want to read a couple of comments real quick right here from people who got really upset when I called out AWP for faking in their videos. Now, I'm going to leave out the comments that got a lot of profanity and stuff we can't say on YouTube. But let's go ahead and dive into a couple of them. Dude, you just don't want to mess with AWP. These guys carry 2 guys per truck with cameras ready to roll. I've lost my respect for you. You're not very good at getting all the right information. Only been subbed a couple of weeks and I gotta unsub. Cannot deal with people who slag other people like AWP off when they don't even do their own research. Well, hey, White Rose, did you do your research yet about Jared? Because I got a lot of documents to show ya. So yeah, people were acting as if I had no clue what I was talking about during the whole Kylie Rodni case, because I didn't believe in Upchurch's theories and I called out AWP's video for possibly being fake. Everyone wanted to act like I didn't do research and I had no clue what I was talking about. Well, it turns out I was one of the only people who actually had a clue as to what they were talking about. It's funny how life works, isn't it? But let's go forward with more comments. AWP are not scammers, so whoever said that about them is totally wrong. Hey, All Books 06, I think you may need to look into Jared's past. He is actually what you would call a scammer. Like, if you look up the definition and then you look at Jared's past, you would realize that Jared actually is a scammer. So that comment didn't age well either, so let's go forward. AWP overproduces? You do realize that's how they got as big as they did, as fast as they did, right? Quality. Simple quality editing. With some quality cameras, mics, a drone, editing software such as Premiere Pro, After Effects, plugins, look like RSMB, possible Sapphire. They use layers, text, blur, color correcting, and some smooth transitions. What do you do on your videos to keep the audience engaged? Oh, that's right. You talk crap about others and a quick Google search on what's in the news today. Unbelievable. At least get a green screen. They are like $30. Should be able to afford it with 50K subs. Well, guess what, Brian? I am now at 70K subs. Everyone, I really appreciate the support. I cannot believe that I have reached 70K subs. You want to know what's weird? I did all of this with my camera phone and a broken ring light that is sitting to the side of it. If you haven't noticed, I built this platform without the green screen effects, without the constant super chats rolling in, without live streaming 8 hours a day, without buying a microphone, without getting a webcam, without any of that. I have built this platform off of nothing but my genuine opinions. But you know what? People don't realize that there are still people in this world that respect genuineness. Well, what do you know? Some random guy from his spare bedroom that has action figures behind him reached 70K subs without a single piece of high-grade equipment. And you know what? A lot of people like to trash me and they're jealous because of that. Because I did not come on this platform and get all the bells and whistles to impress people. I simply used my opinions, my honest opinions. And it has garnished me a lot of love and support. And I really appreciate that. Luckily, I don't have to add in fake scenes about other people's kids' deaths in order to garnish this audience. So yeah, dude, sorry, I don't got a green screen. I don't got a microphone. I don't got a high grade camera. I am doing this all from my iPhone. The videos get edited from my iPhone. The videos get filmed on my iPhone. The thumbnails are made on my iPhone. I spent $0 besides the cost of my phone and this broken ring light on creating this channel. I created it off of my own personality. And my channel is going to continue to grow. And haters like you will continue to be mad. So my only advice is to just go back and watch Adventures with Pedos, and maybe they will make you feel better. But let's go forward. Yeah, she crashed into the lake driving from the back seat. You clearly haven't watched Adventures with Purpose drag her car with her body in and out of the water. It's suspicious as F. Do everyone a favor, and if you're not following it, watch it and clue yourself up first before talking about a young, beautiful girl that's lost her life clearly through homicide. I'm unsubscribing now. So here we have someone admitting right here that they thought Kylie Rodney's death was a homicide due to Adventures with Purpose's video. And I have tons of comments like this, all documented, from people harassing me while mentioning that they're harassing me because of AWP videos, and people harassing other people as well as claiming an accident was a homicide because of AWP's video. But you know what, Daniel? I actually do my research, and I do a little more research than you. And you know, AWP has already stated in past videos that when a car goes underwater and someone's in it, the engine's going to sink first. And the person in the car, they're always going to climb to the back of the car because that's where the air bubble will be. That will be the last place in the car that is not filled with water yet. Adventures with Purpose explained this. Adventures with Purpose in past videos already talked about how bodies are often found in the back of the car. And then they go forward in the Kylie Rodney case, and because they needed clicks and views, they pretended like, we've never seen a body in the back of the car before. This is suspicious. Spoiler alert. The only reason AWP made Kylie Rodney's death look so suspicious is because they needed the extra revenue, because Jared already knew that AWP was going to come crashing down any moment now. You all were played like a freaking fiddle. And you sent in your super chats and you bought your memberships and you all paid for Jared's legal defense team. But you know, while we're on this topic, I don't think people fully grasp what is going on here. Like, yes, Jared's allegations are horrible. Yes, Jared's allegations only reflect on Jared. Other members of AWP aren't guilty of what Jared is guilty of. Correct? We all know that. You don't have to explain that to me. That is obvious, right? But the fact remains the same that AWP, and when I say AWP, I mean other members, they are guilty of other things. I'm not going to sit here and forget that Doug was on a live stream where he insinuated in many ways that Kylie Rodney's body was found without clothes on. And when I say insinuated, I feel like people don't know what that means. You maybe need to Google it. Look up the definition. People can say things without directly saying it. And that's what AWP did during the entire Kylie Rodney case. They went on every live stream they possibly could, and they said a lot of things without saying it. And Doug pretended like he couldn't answer questions and implied in many ways that Kylie was found naked in the back of the vehicle. And then people tried to unblur the video, and then they were all sending around little clips of what they thought was a naked, dead teenage girl. That is unforgivable. That had nothing to do with Jared. Jared wasn't even there during the Kylie Rodney situation. So yes, Jared is a monster for what he did. And we should focus on Jared for those allegations. But while there is a spotlight shined on AWP, we simply can't ignore the things that we have been forced to ignore for months prior to this. Because back then, if you spoke out or you said something, you would get harassed and attacked. Now, the curtain has been lifted and people see AWP for what they really are. And now it's time to have this discussion. And we're going to have this discussion on my channel. Because the other members of AWP were involved in the other shady stuff that AWP had going on. So yeah, I am kind of upset that Doug and other crew members put out these speculations and they did these things on these live streams to make people come up with these whacked out theories. And videos were passed around of what people believed was a dead, naked, teenage Kylie Rodney, and that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Adventures with Purpose. Let's take a sip of Starbucks to that. Cheers. All right. But I understand that my words aren't enough for you to realize what's going on here. I understand that a lot of you are reluctant to take my word for it. You don't want to believe that AWP has been faking content. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to a couple of prior members of Adventures with Purpose who actually did their own live stream yesterday. And they basically laid it all out there for you so you all can have an idea of what type of people work at Adventures with Purpose.
So we're out on the case, and I remember we're out looking for the person, and we go to a spot where we're looking, and it clearly, anybody who had been working the case would know there's no chance of the person being here. But they were, filming and whatever, and I asked about it, and I was told that it was for show. Like, we have a show to make. So I was like, why are we here? And I was told, oh, well, we have a show to make. And immediately I got sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I actually would sometimes say, so Jared, is this a show day or a actual search day? What are we doing today? That's a real thing.
And to me though, being told that when I'm over here with my whole heart into what we're doing made me just want to puke. Like, honestly. Mm-hmm. So then that night...
Because these people, this is not a show for them at all.
No.
This is real life.
No.
This is real life.
No. It was never told, to people I saw, they were never told that that there was places being searched just because it was good content. Interesting. So I was absolutely, sick about that. I was there, and I was told... It's hard for me to even talk about, but the old man was crying, and I didn't film I did not want to go, because I was helping filming, I did not want to go up close to him, and I turned the camera away because he was crying, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And then I got accosted for missing what was called the money shot. And at that point, I just ended up storming out.
That was Sam the Adventure Man and Kyler. I encourage you all, if you have time today and you haven't already, please take my advice and go listen to their live streams, because they don't get into the allegations. They did not know about the allegations. These are members of AWP that left a while back, but they will give you an idea of what was going on at Adventures with Purpose. And you will realize why I've been stressing so hard over the past couple of days, because Jared's allegations to the side, I feel like AWP has a lot of other stuff to answer for. And while the spotlight is on AWP, now is the time to have these conversations. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Let's not forget all of the stuff that they have been doing, all of the families that have been affected. Everyone's like, you know what? Well, regardless of what Jared did, I hope that the other members of AWP can keep going. Because they've done so much good, I hope they keep this thing going. No, in reality, that is not the case. In reality, they have screwed a lot of people over. I want AWP to keep going so they can keep faking footage, exploiting families, and peddling conspiracy theories on YouTube. We really need these people. There are other divers out there. Yesterday, like 45 diving teams came on YouTube and all made an announcement about AWP. Go watch their channels. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. But as you can see here, Kyler pointed out what I felt in my heart months ago. He pointed out exactly what I was telling you all in that video. That some of this stuff was faked. It wasn't genuine. And from what Kyler says, they would go to locations where they knew there was no possibility of finding a person. They would take these families with missing kids, missing family members, and they would bring them to locations where they knew they weren't going to find anything, where they would do fake searches just for YouTube content. They would take them to bodies of water where they knew for a fact these missing people weren't, and they would go fake a search so they could film YouTube content. The whole time, the families did not know that they were being dragged along for a reality show. Sam the Adventure Man literally says he would have to ask Jared, is this a real search day or a YouTube day? Is this a day where we create a lot of fake drama and we film a lot of fake content to mix in with our real searches? What more evidence do you all need? What more evidence do you all need? And this is not just Jared doing this. This is the other team members. Jared was nowhere to be found during the Kylie Rodney situation, was he? So we're going to blame Jared for how that was handled? No. I blame the other members of AWP for how that was handled. And as you can see, people with integrity. Kyler, he stayed with AWP for 2 weeks and he hauled ass. Because Kyler had a good head on his shoulders and Kyler had a good heart. He did not stick around. He left. Sam the Adventure Man, he has a good heart, you can tell. And he tried whatever he could to right the course, to make things better. And he tried to be loyal to AWP in a way, thinking that he could make things better, and he couldn't, so he left. So you think that this guy who was with AWP for 2 weeks and saw all this shady stuff, do you think that he knows something that Doug and the rest of the team doesn't know? No. They all know about Jared being shady. They all know that they all do shady stuff in these videos, period. And it's not just Jared. The other team members like Sam and Kyler, they left. All of these other people could have left a long time ago too, but they ignored all of the shady stuff they were doing because the money or because of the clout or whatever. It would get to the point, from what Kyler said, that he did not shove a camera into a grieving man's face so he got yelled at for not getting the money shot. They yelled at this young man for not smashing a camera into a grieving parent's face. I want you to take that in and think about that. So when you're out here like, who cares about Jared? We got to keep watching Doug. We got to keep watching AWP because they do so good. No, what you're going to do is you're going to continue to watch these same people exploit more families and do all of the shady stuff without Jared. It's really that simple. And I'm not here to hate, because if I really wanted to hate on AWP, why wouldn't I have been making these videos months ago? I'm just here to state the facts. While the spotlight is here, let's state the facts. And if you get mad at me for reacting to what actual members of AWP said, then you're just delusional. This is not like, hey, I just came up with all the stuff off the top of my head. Every time I make videos, it seems like people get the impression that all of this stuff is just made up. No, go look at the live streams of ex-AWP members, and they will tell you all the exact stuff that I am telling you. I am simply reacting to it. So if you're mad at me, I don't know what to tell you. You just can't handle the truth, and you can't handle reality. So no, I'm not going to forget all the shady stuff. No, I'm not going to ignore that we have 10, 11, 12 people on the internet all telling you that the team Adventures with Purpose were shady and did shady shit in their videos. I'm not going to ignore that. And I'm not going to support anyone who was with them moving forward. If you choose to, that's on you. But don't act like you don't know about all of this stuff. If you choose to still support these people, that's fine. But that is basically you saying, hey, I don't care about the emotions and all of the people who were damaged along the way. I just want entertainment. I just want to see people with beards scuba dive. And that's the reality of this situation. So I hope you all enjoyed story time. Like I said, if you haven't already, I encourage you to go seek out these other live streams of ex-members of AWP. It wasn't hard for me. It won't be hard for you. They're all over YouTube. You don't have to look hard to find people telling you that AWP was shady as fuck for literally over a year now. Their videos all over the place. Plenty of people who have worked with them all say the same thing. So if you think that you want to support these people going forward, that's on you. But what I want from you all right now is to let me know what you think about all of this stuff down in the comments below. Don't worry, even if you disagree with me, I will not send a hate mob to attack you and your family like Adventures with Purpose always does. But while you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.